Good evening, hope you're all well. It's been a little while since I've done a video, so I thought I'd knock up a new one today. Thankfully I turned the ripe old age of 38 yesterday, and amazingly the missus has bought me this bad boy, the RAF 100 Special Avro Lancaster Mark III, of course in its special scheme of the 617 Squadron, the Dam Busters. This one being piloted by Lieutenant Shannon, who went off to the Eder dam, which is the furthest dam to get into Germany. It's actually the 5th dam buster that Corgi have made. So Dan, who as you know obviously runs the page with us, has actually 7 now, so he's finally acquired the Barlow one. So the 5 which Corgi have made thus far are AJE, which is the Barlow one with the red upkeep bomb. Probably the hardest one out of the lot to get. Dan is now over the moon with that. Of course, AJG, which was Gibson's famous mount. They do 2 versions of this. They do a standard version with an upkeep and one on a sights and sounds base. They do AJL, which is this one, which is the RF 100 Dave Shannon one. You do AJM for Mother, which was Hopgood, and that's a notoriously difficult one to get as well. And the final one, which I also have, is AJN, which was Les Knight's mount. So, as you can see by this, really glorious model. On top of the Lancaster reviewed last week, the Phantom of the Ruhr. Colours look crisp, they look nice, they look correct. There's no dodgy greens on the engine, as those will know. It's not in. There is a couple of Lancasters with the reverse camo on. Which doesn't make a massive difference to the naked eye, but for those who know their stuff, I'm sure it probably drives them crazy. And you've got the green engine on one of them, which it shouldn't be, so this one's absolutely perfect. Really good looking model again. You know, the Lancaster, you can't go wrong with it for me in the eyes of Corgi. It's a good seller. They made 1,000 of these and they literally just flew off the shelf. This is really difficult to get. It was only the missus said to me yesterday morning on my birthday that she tried to order me the new Lancaster and it sold out from Corgi. So thankfully those lovely people at Antics come up trumps and saved a few bob as well. And this literally turned up within the last hour. So a little bit about history about this aircraft. So it's ED929 and he took off from Scampton at 21:47 on the 16th of May 43 as part of the first attack wave heading for the Moan Dam. So he went obviously over the Dutch coast and after orbiting the Moan Dam waiting for the instructions to begin their attack run, when it was successfully breached, they then headed course for their secondary target, the Eder Dam, which is a further 45 miles into enemy territory. And it was the most difficult target of the lot to attack. So Dave Shannon actually had 5 aborted runs, attempted runs around the steep hills in obviously a pitch black as well. Not the most agile of aircraft, the Lancaster. So 5 runs and you know, sort of surviving all 5 of them. He was finally successful in the 6th run. He hit the right hand side of the dam, didn't breach it, but he hung around to try and draw some fire off before Les Knight in ED912 basically attacked the dam and breached it, and they both headed home and were successfully back to Scampton by the early hours of the morning. So, you know, an amazing story. The Dam Busters, you know, for anyone who's read the story, you know, an amazing mission. It didn't cause masses upon masses of casualties and damage, but it was more of a political statement as well as to how far the Lancaster could travel into Germany and you know, what sort of special things it could do. Amazing bit of design by Barnes Wallis to come up with an idea for a bomb to breach a dam in that fashion. No, a lot of the aircraft didn't make it back, sadly. And of course, as you know, it was led by Guy Gibson, who later lost his life in a Mosquito doing a pathfinding mission over Holland, I believe. So a fantastic story of bravery of the RAF, and it's, you know, in one of its darkest hours. In terms of this model, as you can see, if I lift it up, hopefully the undercarriage will not fall out. You can see the upkeep underneath there. It does spin, obviously with one hand I don't really want to touch it. It feels a little bit crisper than the previous ones. I don't know if the colours are slightly different. I haven't got all of them out, although I did sort out the man cave today to try and see if I can get in there and sort of have get more things out for pictures. It looks really well fitted. There's no obvious damage to it. Both of the I forget the name of those little things there. If they can something balances. I know they're certainly called something balances, but they're both intact, which is notorious for the Lancasters to come off on. And I did speak to Al Buchanan, who anyway, I don't know Al, obviously he's a Corgi dealer up in Cambridgeshire, and he said he had to send quite a few of these back because there was a lot of damage to the tail planes, but this one's in perfect nick, he says, as he wobbles it and hopes that nothing comes off. It's in absolutely perfect nick, really, really nice looking aircraft. It's going to keep its value as well. One thing I would say is that the box feels a lot smaller than it was before. The Lancaster box was quite a chunky bit of kit, so they've obviously cut down on the packaging, which is nice. It looks nice and crisp. Nice packaging as well, the RF100's insignia on there. I've got a few bits to come, hopefully, with the Hurricane, Spitfire, Nimrod and Gladiator as well to get in the near future. Yeah, really nice looking model. I'll get some pictures up on Instagram as well. For anyone who's been on the Instagram site, Dan has actually put all 7 of his Dan busters up now because he's made a couple of code 3s as well. So they're all up together. Sorry, I say 6 because the 7th one is on its way to him, I think, from Northern Ireland of all places. He's finally managed to acquire the Barlow one, which was a Corgi Collector Club special, and really, really hard to find. So hopefully that'll be with us next week and you'll be able to take some pictures of that. Yeah, that's really about it. If anyone's got any requests in terms of what we'd like to see reviewed, I've actually sorted out the hellhole that is the shed into piles now of the right brands as well. So if there's any requests in terms of Mustangs or Spitfires or anything like that, please let us know. I'll go in there and try and dig them out and get a picture up or 2 on Instagram. Don't forget, if you haven't followed our Instagram page, to follow it. It's literally under the same name, Corgi Diecast Aviation. And that's really about it. Hope you've all had a good week, and I'll speak to you soon.